So, on April 1st, almost, the Movement Rush update for SMBZ-G was dropped after a delay from Christmas last year, and, well, it certainly is something. This update, as I had predicted, completely changed neutral play, while also redefining certain key aspects of the game that definitely require some time for me to go over. So, this is a follow-up to the original SMBZ-G video essay, and, well, if you haven't watched that, I'd recommend going back to it. There's a card at your top right, as it goes over some of the basic mechanics. However, if you're stubborn, then, well, I'll do a short little review here. To start, let's go over what made the previous update of SMBZ-G work amazingly. Now, the first update was something that definitely worked, and while it had its own assortment of problems, no game is perfect, and that certainly applies here. There were infinites, combos. You could go to the grocery store, call your mother, visit your mom, visit your dad, wonder where he went with the milk, and still look back at the screen and the FSS just started. Some odd moments, but overall, the experience is still perfectly fine. In fact, 1.05 allowed the most for creativity, bringing new life to the scene with the skin system, which had its own problems sometimes, but nonetheless it still brought a lot of new people to the scene. In fact, I still dabble a little bit, attempting and still working on this little 8-bit Mario. I love my baby, but this update certainly changed and fixed a lot from version 1.04. Now 1.06, the Movement Rush update did something extraordinary. It added tons of new maps, completely animations, gravity being turned off, Goomba continuing to shatter the creator's wishes for a balanced game, and more. Now it did change a lot, however, some key aspects have been reworked to the point that now a whole new level of strategy and frustration have surfaced. For example, let's quickly go over the base game's mechanics. The game has an intensity meter, a stun bar, an energy bar, and a large pool of moves, directional or non-directional, for each character to allow itself to feel freeing and yet complex with certain techniques and combos to really allow players to get interested. The intensity meter, however, has been completely reworked since previous versions. The intensity meter, instead of filling up in the meter itself, draining when you use a critical strike, adding depth by allowing each player to choose whether or not to waste the ability so the other can't use it, or land the move yourself. It now bestows upon the player their own individual strike that can only be wasted or be landed by themselves. In concept, this sounds fantastic. Allows more strategy, gives both players a chance to land it, and punishes the player for missing by allowing the other to get a chance at a free hit uncontested by most of the cast. However, that's not exactly how it plays out. There is absolutely no time limit on the player's critical strike. So in other words, if your opponent misses and they, well, decide to just never use their down Z attack, especially in, for example, Kooparo's case, where his down attack, which is the critical strike, never really has to be used, unlike Sonic whose down Z needs it for combos, you essentially now never get a chance to start the movement rush in. Well, this isn't the greatest. Personally, I would love to add a timer of sorts that dictates how long each player has to use their critical strike. Maybe have the intensity meter slowly drain clockwise or the likes for a minute or so before going back to zero. And so essentially it combines the previous mechanic and the one now that keeps the level pressure and strategy, but still allows the player to work around it. Of course, speaking even more, let's go straight into how movement rushes work. Movement rushes are by far the most expansive part of this update. Movement rushes essentially replace critical strike rushes and instead add a level of both players interacting. It's pretty simple. You hit this critical strike, watch this sick animation, then you begin. We'll start with grounded rushes to keep things simple. Essentially, your moveset is now limited to a jump, attack, and dodge, and your goal is to get 3 hits on the other opponent so you can win the rush. For example, in this footage against my friend, I'm dodging his attacks and countering it quickly, and then win the rush, returning right back to the neutral play. For air rushes, it's similar, except you can't jump in. Well, whoever wins in certain stages just to slam them to a whole new stage, which adds a lot of flair to the already well-done spectacle this game offers. Now this adds a whole risk-reward to the game. Yes, it's big damage, but the opponent has a chance to win and overtake you, and you lose the upper hand you had, so the game has certainly changed neutral on its own entirely, and well, full honesty, the game is just more fun. The game used to have 2 ways to achieve one rush, which is where the opponent sits back and watches their HP bar drain, making combos repetitive, especially for characters like Sonic, who has the same bread and butter combo. Now there's a whole extra layer. Say you wanted to finish that combo with a critical strike to get that movement rush and deal more damage than the stun rush. You now have an opportunity to miss, and therefore now the opponent has a chance to land that strike, but you could win it, or he could win it, or you could phase through the floor, but overall this opponent is fantastically well done. But this is also my video, so now I'm going to nitpick this update because my job is to make Zethros' life harder. To start, I think we should raise the full Stone Strike damage requirement. As of now, for characters like Sonic, whoa, he's coming up again, he still benefits heavily from just getting that FSS, as it's easier for him to land a spin dash, which covers this distance, and the critical strike, which covers this distance, or you can miss both. Point is, some characters' FSS are very easy, and sometimes better compared to a Movement Rush, and since MR is such a fun neutral play, I think making it easier to accomplish than the FSS could add more neutral and possibly limit more combo play. Potentially, I'm not guaranteeing this hell will win. Second, this background of Bowser's Doom ship outside. I know this update was rushed a little bit, and I'm sure there could have been better backgrounds or ideas you had and didn't get time to implement, but maybe in a patch or something you could. Third, this Fire Mario Infinite is still here, and it's still really easy to pull off. Finally, I think there should be slightly more lag on both attack and dodge. As of now, it's really easy to just dodge, spam attack, and buffer it so you can attack immediately. Of course, there is counterplay. Just don't attack, but after all, I think it could benefit. With that, I think the MR update was a fantastic addition to this game and changed the base fundamentals in one of the best ways possible. I absolutely love Zethros' work he did for this update, and I can really only see further improvements in the future with the multiplayer update next, after his own project, Get Nuts. Link in the description. No, I am not sponsored. And the Cataclysm with Bowser, and only more in the future, and I'll still be here to talk about it. With that, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoy video essay content, speedruns, and overall variety content, that sweet, succulent subscribe button is down there for you, and you can turn on notice with that bell since I upload weekly as well as stream weekly until college starts, in which case I might have to do my schedule a little bit. And since I started streaming more, my upload schedule may fluctuate, but I'm doing my best to upload videos for you guys. With that, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope to see you for the next video. See ya!